Okay. Hi. 1917 film analysis. Okay, so first of all, we have chosen the clip where the second part of the whole abandoned city scene, where he runs through the city and gets shot at by all the Germans, and he ends up in the river. Yeah. So, okay, first of all, we would like to talk about the framing. So the framing is mostly what you call the medium shot, where it's like focused on one person, but you can also see a lot of the surroundings. And this is used to show all the surroundings, so you feel like it's from his perspective, so you also see what he's seeing. Yes. The framing only changes for a little while when Schofield is in the river and the water has finally calmed down. And here the framing goes to a close-up, so you can focus on the emotions he's feeling in that moment. The angles are shot at eye level again, so you can feel like you are relating to the character. That's what happens when you use the eye level, because you like the same height as him. Yes. And again, here there's an exception for when it leaves the eye level, which is when he falls down the waterfall. So up to this point, the camera has followed him all through the scene until he falls down the waterfall, where the camera stays at the top, so you see him drop all the way down to the bottom. Yeah. And this makes him feel really small, and you can really see how weak he is in this moment. The lighting. The lighting is low-key, which adds a lot of horror, which makes sense because it's a very scary situation our main character finds himself in. And another interesting thing about the lighting is that it is nighttime all the way through when he gets shot at and he's in big trouble, until he finally jumps in the river, and when the water then has calmed down, it turns to early morning, which kind of symbolizes that.
But at the same time, there's a flare in the city, where there's a lot of it is nighttime, but at the same time it's really bright, because they have known there's some intruders or something, and they have to find them.
If we would jump ahead to the colors of the city scene is also very red, which can symbolize murder and anger, which is kind of prevalent in this moment, because he's getting shot at.
The sound of the movie, like in the start of the clip we chose, there's a mix of diegetic and sound and non-diegetic sound. The diegetic sound comes from the drunken German soldier who calls for his friend Baumann and asks him if there's any brandy left. At the same time we can hear like a heartbeat rising, and I think it's Schofield's heartbeat, because when he chokes Baumann, Baumer's heartbeat should actually lower because he dies, but it's just like Schofield's adrenaline rushes through him and his heartbeat starts to race. Which is a non-diegetic sound, maybe. At the same time, there's this music playing in the background, which helps giving the scene a dramatic tone, which fits this escape that Schofield has through acoustic. And again, we hear more diegetic sound when you hear the Germans shoot at Schofield, and we hear it again when he falls in the river, and we get this, toned down when he's underwater, and then when he's come up, all the water bristles. So all through the movie, we're kind of like exposed, since the camera is always following Schofield, we're also exposed to the same environment as him, except for the music that's in the background. And yeah, then there is this editing, which is put together so that it seems like it never clips, which gives the effect on us as receivers of, or audience of the film. Like we're with him at all times, and we never really get this break as we could get in some other movies where we would see what would happen behind the lines. Here we're always with him, which makes us like just as stressed as him.
Yeah, he also doesn't know any more than he does.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we only see what he sees.
Yeah.
So we feel the stress that he's feeling.
Yeah, he doesn't know if there is any other English people in the acoustic. Yeah. And okay, there is one scene where it clips, and that's when he falls down the river. But that's just, it's like turns dark, and then he comes up of the water again. So again, at all times we're with him, so it's not weird that the movie clips here. Yeah.
Last question here, we didn't really have time to answer, but we can quickly look at it. So basically all the cinematic elements adds a lot to the tone, which is really dark and
serious.
Yeah.
And we really get a good point of view of how the First World War is, with a lot of destruction and a lot of death.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that in the movie there is not one scene with a gas explosion or something.
Yeah.
There, because that filled a lot of the World War I. But yeah, no gas mask or anything is in this movie.
Yeah, the edit and the framing especially is also very interesting. It's not like very many other movies.
Yeah.
But this really makes you feel with the main character.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is quite cool. Yeah.